Yo, what's up, It's your boy Nice Man. Welcome back to the fucking dumbass channel, the channel that I have abandoned to do random shit on. This is just gonna be random bullshit, and this is a video of random bullshit. So I came across this post by a user on YouTube. I'm actually subscribed to them, so please do not go fucking hate on them. I enjoy their content. Don't make this a personal thing. It is not a personal thing. Don't be fucking weird. Anyway, they made this post about, it's obviously talking about the coffin of Andy and Lele, or as I like to call it, the incest game, because that is the only thing notable about that fuckfest of a game. And before I start fucking rambling like an idiot, know that I have a headache, so I can't really think properly, or at all. I don't think much at all, ever, really, and I'm in pain. Anyway, right, the coffin of Andy and Lele. Anyway, so in the post they say they love how when it's painfully obvious someone hasn't played or seen a game they're hating on. Obviously referring to the people who have not played The Coffin of Andy and Lele. Which honestly, good for them. I really hope they don't play that game. Or see anything of the game, because I really wish I didn't. And yes, I have seen playthroughs of the game. I don't remember much of it because it was a while ago, and also I don't care to remember this. I've actively tried to forget it, but the internet won't fucking let me. They also talk about how people are focused on one particularly morally bad thing that happens in the game, and not any of the other more important, more fucked up bits of the game. Which, obviously referring to how everyone refers to the Coffin of Andy and Lele as a game of just incest, which is just, again, that's just a small part of the game, but again, the only part worth thinking about. They called other things done in the game to be way more morally bad, which honestly I personally disagree with. Look, you can call me fucking weird, or you can say I'm a bad person, or I got weird morals, but I personally think that incest is worse than murder. A lot of people already think that I'm weird for that shit, but it's just like I don't know. I don't fucking care. Who cares? Guy die. That's not as bad as fucking your sister. And honestly, I don't really care that much that the characters are like that the characters did that. That's obviously a bad thing, and obviously they're saying this is a bad thing. The thing that I have a problem with is actually, kind of connected to the comment that the creator left on the post. So they mention in the comment that they think that we've all been desensitized to things like murder and abuse, and that people go crazy when something that's not commonly talked about, that we're not desensitized to, gets brought up, which is, that's just objectively true. Like, that's right. We are desensitized to that shit, so then we're not desensitized to this shit, which is itself the problem. I'll get back to that in a moment, but I wanted to note first that they say, like, obviously what they do is fucked up. They're mentally ill, they're bad, they're insane, and they do horrible things, and they think it's very obvious that they're not supposed to be good. Which, yeah, it is, but unfortunately, it's a game released to the public, and it got popular on the internet, particularly a couple of very particular parts of the internet that I unfortunately have the displeasure of going to fairly frequently. Anyway, back to what I was saying about the whole desensitization thing. We are desensitized to, like, murder and shit, which honestly might be part of the reason as to why I don't really think murder is all, like, as bad as incest, as I previously mentioned. But the main reason that we're all fucking desensitized to this shit is because it just started to come up when people first started talking about, like, bringing up murder in, like, books and fucking movies and shit. Like, no one thought that was okay. Everyone was like, "What the fuck? Why would you do this? Don't do that." It's stuff that's just obviously like you see a bad thing, you say, "Wow, that's fucked. Don't do that." That's very obvious. But over time, that became more and more noticeable because people realized if we do a fucked thing, people will notice the thing we're making, and if people notice the thing we're making, maybe they'll care about us. That's always kind of been just the thought process of people. We just want, like, we think, if doing a fucked up thing gets attention, then I want to have that fucked up thing be something associated with me. You know? That's a thing that people do sometimes, which I think is fucked. Again, I can't think properly. And the point that I'm trying to make here is that we shouldn't be desensitized to this shit, and we shouldn't make it so normal to blast a person's head off in a TV show. Like, the fact that that is, in some cases, acceptable is fucking ridiculous when you think about it. And especially in the context of, like one compared to this shit, right? The one thing that anyone cares about in regards to the coffin of Andy and Lele is the fucking incest part. That's it. Because that's the only thing that sets it apart from most other shit. The fact that it goes just a step further into the direction of fucked up than everything else, at least in my opinion, I consider it to be a step further in terms of being fucked up. And that's the problem. They're taking a step forward out of what is considered the norm. And when you step out of the norm, other people are going to recognize that. And then they are going to also step out of that norm. So soon enough, we're going to have even more games or more books or shows or some shit that portray incest the same as, like, how the coffin of Andy and Lele does it. Like, or sometimes they're going to do it worse. You know? It's, I don't remember the term, but if one person does a thing, the next person to do the same thing often does it worse. You know? So, if that happens, then eventually this is going to become the norm, the same way that murder or abuse or just anything fucked just becomes normal in media. So if this is the next thing to become normalized, what's after that? What's the next thing to become normalized? If this becomes normalized to show in media, because, like, yeah, it fucking happens. Yeah, it's bad. They're saying it's bad. But if you keep putting it out there, we're gonna get more and more of it until eventually we're fine showing a fucking baby getting on camera for a TV show. Like, obviously that's a bit hyperbolic, but that's the kind of shit that we're moving towards, and that's the problem with the coffin of Andy and Lele. It's not that the characters did it, it's how do I put it into words? It's the fact that it might become normalized to have more and more characters do it until eventually we lead to something even worse. Something that just shouldn't be ever acceptable. I think we are fine as, like, with the topics that we are comfortable putting out there, I think we are fine where we are. I don't want any other fucked shit to become normal to show in media just because it's supposed to show, oh, it's obviously bad. The characters, the creators saying not to do what the characters do. I don't fucking care. It doesn't matter, because if you're showing it, you're starting to normalize it. It's not a good thing. Okay, I initially had a different ending for this, but I had to cut it here and re-record it because I think the rest of this is kind of just a little too much that I don't think I need to be saying, that I honestly don't want to put out there, at least as of right now. But the general thing that I'm trying to say here, when we go more fucked than people are okay with having, then we make that step acceptable, right? So then, since incest is obviously a step further than everyone's comfortable with, eventually the comfort zone is going to expand to accept that in media, which then means someone else is going to take another step further into something else, and then we're going to have to expand to that, and then it just keeps cycling on and on and on until eventually we're fine showing some pretty fucked up shit that honestly should never even be a fucking thought in anyone's head. It's fucked up. But, yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Bye. Oh, also, the Coffin of Andy and Lele is just a bad game. Like, not even talking about the fuck shit that they do. It's just not a good game.